All right, let's look at fixing a portrait that has a few problems we want to address. So here I am in the bridge. I'm going to double click on this image, open it in Photoshop. And as I said before, one of the first things you do is make some sort of an evaluation as to what problems are in the image. In this case, the skin tone is, first problem is the skin tone is far too red. And then I think what we can do is clean up the skin a little bit, make it a little smoother. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to our hue saturation slider, and we're going to isolate. Under master, we're going to use reds. We're going to take the saturation down, and we're going to take, so lots of times I'll pull it too far and then drag it back. And so we just want the skin tone to look natural. And that looks pretty good. Now the problem is that we've taken all the color out of the background, right? I'm going to close my hue saturation slider, but we have a mask utility here, so I can paint back into that. So I'll grab a standard paintbrush, put black forward, and then paint into the background and bring the reds back into the background. And that looks pretty good. Now I'm going to zoom in on his face, and I'm going to go over and grab my spot healing brush and just dap it. Make sure we're in the right layer. Dap it over some of the problem areas in his brow. Cheek, chin, etc. And just dap it a little bit. Now I still want to smooth out the skin a little bit more, and I want to do this selectively. So we did some exercises like this before. Let's see if we can't make them work here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit Control J and jump all of the image up to a new layer. I'm going to go to Filter. I'm going to go to Blur. I'm going to use Gaussian Blur. Set it to about 3.6. Click OK. And then I'm going to hide that top layer by going to Layer, Layer Mask, Hide All. Grab my paintbrush, put black forward. Actually, I need white forward. And I'm just going to dab it over the skin and just smooth it a little bit. And if it's too much, now I'm not going over his eyes, his nose, his eyebrows. I want those to be sharp. And I can always lower the opacity. And the idea is I just want to kind of bring everything into the correct approximation. Now, let's whiten his eyes. So I'm going to go down to the bottom layer, grab the curves adjustment tool, pull the curves up, till his eyes are nice and bright. And I'm going to hide that adjustment, Control I, zoom in on his face, grab that paintbrush, and just dap it in the whites over his eyes, brighten them up. If it's too much, grab that opacity slider, dial it down a little bit. And there we go. So this is what we started with. And here's our finished product. Let's stop there.